What's up, Transformers family? Welcome back to George Reviews. I am the 80s Transformer fan, and today on George Reviews, we'll be taking a look at Hasbro's Transformers the movie Generation 1 Decepticon Warrior Thundercracker. This is, if you don't know already, a repainted, reissue Generation 1 Thundercracker. He is colored to more accurately match the cartoon, and more specifically, Transformers the movie look. And here is the packaging. It is the same dimensions of a Generation 1 box, but it is the windowless, environmental friendly package, which they have decided to go back to the window packaging, which I'm happy. I hope it catches up to this toy run or run of specific toys. But on the front of the box is artwork for Thundercracker. He is at Autobot City. You can see like a cannon behind him, Lookout Mountain, I believe. And we never really got a good look at him doing battle at Autobot City in the movie, but here's the image right here. Bottom of the box, some writing. Side of the box, the old school image of the toy and the robot. Back of the box, more of the same. And we got the image of Unicron back here. Have a little bit of a story of what's going on with Transformers the movie. The universe is threatened, to get you caught up real quick. And we have the tech spec where most Generation 1 toys come with. Thundercracker, it's a little, you can pause and read it. It's a little bit shortened version of the tech spec. Literally, like, but size and the words. And we got some warning right here. But this is the packaging. So let's get Thundercracker open. Take a look. Now, I got this guy a couple weeks ago now. He came right in the mail as I was going out of town. Inside Thundercracker's box is some instructions, but it's Generation 1. We don't use instructions anyway, but we're really not going to use this one. There is no sticker sheet to this guy, so not there. Not going to happen. Let's get this guy free. I believe that's all the tie-downs, Thundercracker out here. Now, they did some things that I really liked and some things that I don't like. Obviously, I'm going to get to that. And this is Thundercracker out of the packaging. He's mid-transformation, I guess, to fit in the box as cost-effectively as they can. And right here we have accessories. It's like, man, they could have did this a little bit better. Like, you can tell this is like done by hand. Oh. And here are our accessories right here. We have what are supposed to be the short guns or missiles, whichever one you want to call them. They're machine guns. People get mad when I say that. The long missiles. Packaged with the same Megatron gun that came with Starscream, and they just didn't want to change anything. His tail fins. And his fists and the rear rudders. Nothing else to the packaging, nothing further in the box. Let's move on. Alright, let's get him fully transformed and what I call dressed up. Get his clothes on him. Bring these arms around, put down the nose cone, and I actually have a good paint job this time, unlike my Starscream. Looks pretty good. Take the launchers off the wing. They could have just put these in the bag as well. What the heck? Alright, we're going to start with the rear fins. Going right here. Nice snug fit. Then we're going to add these. The hole goes down to let you know which side you're putting them on. The little hollowed out part right here goes down. So you can't see it in jet mode. The wings to the side. Go for the fists. Now, man, I just have to say it. Like, why are the fists a black plastic? They look to be a black plastic. Whew. There's a left and a right fist, and it's tabbed to hold the Megatron gun. Now for the launchers, and these launchers do launch. That's why we have the extra long missiles. And we're going to go with the, we're just going to call them null ray. Like Starscream was the only guy that had the null rays, but they never, I remember giving these guys launchers a name. They may have. Having a hard time keeping these in. Okay, it's in, but it's literally on a hair trigger. Now here is our Thundercracker. We'll come to the Megatron gun and short missiles in a second. We're just going to take a look. Let's see how our Thundercracker looks next to the cartoon model. Must say he looks pretty good. They got a lot of the colors down accurately. But what they didn't do, they didn't go full gray throughout the body, which is, I don't know. Alright, let's get a close-up. There's a missile. Let's get a close-up on our Thundercracker's face. Now, I don't expect this face to look spot on like the cartoon, but just for fun, let's see it next to the cartoon model. And like I said earlier, they got the paint spot on this one, the Starscream that I got. And I saw a lot of reviews and a lot of people had issues with the paint job on Starscream face and the vents on the sides of his head, but it's done pretty well here. As for the rest of the figure, we have the light gray right here. We'll do a comparison shortly. Then what I don't like that they did, they didn't go with the cartoon gray, but like in the 80s when they I guess they wanted to show more detail. A lot of characters that were usually or supposed to be black, they did them in like a gray, like Snake Eyes, like Ravage on the Transformers cartoon. You know, he was black, but he ran around in like a gray, I guess, to show more detail instead of just using a straight black. But this guy should have had the gray all over. It makes no sense to do his fist in gray and not do the rest of the black parts. Like that really bugs me. But I'll come back to that. Let's finish taking a look at the figure as a whole. He has the translucent amber cockpit, orange cockpit with the blue stripes across it. He has a little bit of tampo on his knees. The Decepticon logos on his wings are also painted on, and the striping as well looks to be good and clean. Has a little bit of paint right here on his feet, and that's all that we get as far as paint. The rest is plastic, and then it's like a couple different color plastics going on. Like, I hope my camera's picking it up. The actual launcher and the missile are two different blues. This is the part where I do articulation, and of course it's G1, but I'm not even going to be comical. It's not much to it. We can move the wings, and I'm bringing that up first because I need to move the wings to actually get to the genuine articulation. Move the wings to the back, and you can rotate the arm. And we're pretty much done. But because of the accessories that plug in, you can manipulate those. You can just turn them on both sides, and I guess you can get a little bit more posing out of course, the missile's fire, but that's not true articulation. The feet fold up for transformation, and down here you can reposition these, and that is it. The head won't turn at all, so you're not going to have that. And it's what people love to call a brick, but I don't, because bricks don't transform. So, but that is the articulation. Thundercracker comes with one true accessory. It's the Megatron gun. It comes in two parts, and you can put it together to complete the look. Boom. Like this. Obviously he can't hold it like this, so it has to separate, so you can kind of get the illusion of him holding it. And it is all black plastic. We got some gray right here, has the Decepticon logo right there. I believe it's the same gray that Thundercracker is made out of. And we're going to take it. I'm about to put it back together. Well, I guess we don't need that. We're going to take it, just put it in the new holes to his hands. The Generation 1, the vintage Generation 1 Thundercracker or Starscream, these guys don't have a hole in their hand. Then the bottom just goes under here. And on Starscream reissue, this was a very tight fit. It looks like they corrected it, at least on mine. But I was almost splitting the plastic, adding it to the Starscream version. Now, I personally don't ever remember Thundercracker wielding Megatron. It was mostly Starscream, then Soundwave, then I remember Skywarp once or twice, but I don't recall Thundercracker ever actually wielding Megatron. And if you have, could you please comment the episode in the comments below. Alright, I'm not going to wait to the end real quick. I'm going to bring out Starscream from the same line, and I just want to take a look at the Megatron guns. If you can see it, the grays on the guns are different. on the guns. I guess this color is more suited to the paint that's on Starscream, and this color right here, gray, is more suited to the paint that is on Thundercracker. So it's the difference in the guns, and this is what these guys look like side by side. I want to bring in Generation 1 Thundercracker so we can see just how different this guy is. Boom, and you can see a huge difference. He makes this guy look much darker. Let's turn the figures. In the cartoon, on most of the jets, they kind of use the take on Thundercracker stickers for even the little clone jets in the background, so the stickers aren't going to be that much different because they use this stylization. But gone is the stickers on the tail fin right here. We'll take a deeper look when we get into jet mode. Back of the figures. This guy's dusty. And the front of the figures, and there is that missile again. Speaking of missiles, we went from this to this safety missiles, and it still bothers me. No matter how many I've collected and purchased and have in my display, it just still bothers me. And trying to take a look at these guys' faces side by side to see the updates that they made. And yeah, this face looks a lot better. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. If instead of killing off the product line, this is all they had to do was start making these guys in cartoon accurate colors, and the sales would have picked up immediately, because I know I would have went after these guys. And a lot of kids, like myself, found the Generation 1 figures hard to find. I never had Thundercracker. I never had any of the first Secret Jets. I had a KO of Starscream as a kid, but they were very, very hard to find. And they talk about sales lagging, not in my area. And if they had re-released them again, repainted, it would have gave everybody a second chance to get these figures, and they could have kept making money with the same toys and not slaughter the entire Generation 1 toy line in the 1986 movie. Alright, moving on to the transformation, and then I realized one thing. I didn't have the landing gear, so let's hope this landing gear is in the pack. Yeah, there it is. When you're unpacked, don't forget to get the landing gear. I almost tossed this out. But here is the landing gear, in the wheel, still die cast, and the stem is still plastic, just like the vintage original. Alright, and this guy's a bit of a parts former. And there's let's remove the launchers, remove the fists. Now, the rest of the parts forming thing, you can kind of hold on, and I just let these things stay on to show my transformation skills without them falling off. But the wings and rudders and everything we apply comes off. So we just rotate the nose cone through the chest, abdomen area. Bring that up. Start to rotate these wings around. Oh, they actually came out. I suck. Alright, bring the arms around, and they go into his back together. Fill that gap. Locks in, mostly locks in, and rotate these rings around. Look at this giant gap. Now, this gap can only be found on reissues. The vintage, in the G2 version. I think it started in the G2 version. But the vintage version will never ever have these giant gaps. Rotate these around. This one came out too, so skill's not that great. Not as good as they used to be. And rotate the feet up. Boom. Boom. And let's get the landing gear out here. Of course, you don't need it just to be flying them around. But let's get it in here just the same so we don't forget it in a little bit. Goes right in the hole right here. It's a tight fit. And here we go. Here is our cartoon and cartoon movie accurate Thundercracker. And yes, indeed it is. It looks fantastic. This is the blue I wanted to see. The nose cone, while still being a softer plastic. I'm not really sure if it's rubber. I'm just going to say it's rubber. It is also cast in the color blue, which is fantastic. But this guy looks great. I've wanted this light blue for years. I actually tried to customize one. It didn't come out so good. It may make an appearance, but this guy looks phenomenal. Now, in this mode, we add the machine guns. Wow. And these look goofy as heck. They're supposed to sit flush like this. And well, I've seen some people file this part down to have this groove so it can fit in here just like this. I've seen it done. You probably seen it done too on social media sites, but these just go right in here. And I'm not that good to try it. Now, if I get one of these guys on clearance and go back in and can, you know, not mind damaging the figure that I didn't pay that much for. By the way, this thing was like 33 bucks. I got it off Walmart.com. I have not seen them in the stores, actually. I was in the stores yesterday, went on a toy hunt, several stores. And again, but I showed off all the paint apps or lack thereof. It's very bland, just like the cartoon. And the cartoon made it bland so they wouldn't have to draw all the detail over and over. It wasn't like it was just a great look. They were just like, we're not doing all that on a weekly basis. And last but not least, in jet mode, there's that missile again. The Megatron gun attaches to the bottom of Thundercracker. There is a little square peg right there, square-ish peg right there, and it fits just into the chest right there. And this is what happened on one episode when they introduced the Dinobots. And Megatron attached to Starscream, and you got this. And because it's the exact same mode, they print out the exact same thing. You got the exact same accessory doing the exact same thing that Thundercracker never actually did, but it's still cool anyway. Die, Autobots, scum. You look real geeky. Alright, terms of articulation in this mode, you can actually rotate the landing gear, and he will actually turn. And it just rotates because it's pegged in. But when the wings move, you got like up and down on these wings right here, and that is basically it. The cockpit opens in case you have a little figure, Diaclone driver or something like that. You can pop in there, and I do. Here is Transformers Generation 1 Spike, courtesy of, I believe, Impossible Toys. Don't hold me to that. Bam, close them up in there. Help, Bumblebee! I'm always kidnapped! Oh! Alright, here's the Generation 1 in its jet mode, and you can see the differences very plainly. It's amazing how much stickers do a lot for a toy, especially for an 80s Transformer, and make it pop just that much more. And the missiles, like this is how they're supposed to fit, and this is how these fit. But this color looks fantastic, actually. On the cockpit, while I'm trying to do this review, these missiles are firing all over the place. They're on a hair trigger. But I do want to show you one more difference. You can see how the wings fit flush to the body on a Generation 1. This is the vintage true Generation 1. In every single reissue, you have this gap. Like these wings, like I don't know if the depth inside the hole is deep enough or the peg is too long when it comes together or whatever, but you get this gap. Massive gap and no gap. Well, a little bit of gap, but you know, it just fits a lot better. Alright, it's time to give Thundercracker the size up and rundown. Here he is next to Earthrise Thundercracker, Toys R Us Masterpiece Thundercracker, Marvel Legends Silver Surfer, and one more scale to throw at you, McFarlane's DC Darkseid Snyderverse. Alright fam, this is where we wind it down and give you my final thoughts on Thundercracker. I like them better than Starscream, and I do recommend them to anyone who doesn't have a Thundercracker in their Generation 1 collection. Is this piece going to be from everybody? Probably not. Probably not. But this blue, man, I don't see how you could pass it up. If you collect figures and Thundercrackers and variants, this blue is so striking that I think you just got to pick it up. You know, I think he's a more necessary grab than the Starscream, even though Starscream is the more popular color. I really think they did the paint well on the face, the Decepticon logos, the striping on the wings. The paint is very good on mine. The things I don't like is their choices, not actually what was wrong with the figure. I don't like that they didn't go with the gray all over the figure for the black plastic parts like the feet, the tail fins, etc. It should have been all gray across the board. And QC problems that I did have, like you saw the missiles just launched all the time. And I guess if they're going to work, if they're going to launch, they need to launch. But that's QC that they don't lock in when you put them in and they launch so easily. So that's a problem at the factory. Also, the larger wings kind of fell out of the holes a lot, which is kind of standard on Transformers, Seeker Jets. But these fell out a lot more than I would like. And I think over time they're going to continue to fall out more. So that's another QC issue. But overall, I like the figure. And I do recommend the figure. All we need now is Skywarp. And I hope they get him more together. Hope he has the charcoal gray all over his body instead of the black. And I hope they get it right this time. And a wish list, I have a wish list for every toy. I wish he could have came with something we haven't gotten before, like Energon cubes. Maybe they could have took those same Energon cubes from the Insecticons that they once released and gave him Energon cubes instead of the Megatron gun. Would it have been too much trouble to include a tiny reflector that pegged into the holes instead of the recycled Megatron gun? Instead, we got a straight up re-release of Starscream down to the gun, you know, except for the paint job. And I know that's what these guys always were, but, you know, you just kind of want something different. If you're collecting, and we're probably going to get the exact same thing with Skywarp. We're going to have 3 Megatron guns. At one time, it was amazing to get the Megatron gun. Now it's like, But that's all I got for you. I want to thank everybody for watching another episode of George Reviews. The reviews where every toy has a story. And if you like this review, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please take the time to subscribe now. And we are out.